They did. Poets created the world. See, God made the world and God made poets. It's all kind of poets. It's all kind, you know what I mean? But it's certain ones that made the world. First, the Creator made the world, and then the Creator made poets who make the world. Let me name a few. It's not gonna rhyme. Let me see. Aesop's fables, right? I don't know a lot about Aesop's fables, except that was in the ancient world and it had something to do with animals and morals, stories with morals. Aesop. And when I think back to the good old days of Merry England, I think of William Blake. William Blake. I remember in college I wrote something about To Tirza. I don't know what it was about, but it was really mystical. He was a painter, and he had something out called The Songs of Innocence and Experience. He painted things on a white canvas. That's William Blake. Okay, let's skip to my loop and get ourselves into the 1800s. Let's go to Ohio. I don't know why, but let's just go to Ohio. One of my favorites, Paul Laurence Dunbar, was born in 1872 in Ohio. His parents had experienced slavery, actually. Paul Laurence Dunbar, he used to take the dialect, plantation dialect poetry, and he made it shine. He was like Stephen Curry with some poetry. He would make a massa and everybody around almost dance to his poetry because he could take the language of the folk in the big house and the folk out in the field, and he could make songs from that. Check him out, Paul Laurence Dunbar. The next poet I want to mention is, of course, Langston Hughes. Langston was a young man. He was born in 1902, but somewhere in the 20s, when he was a teenager, he wrote a poem called The Negro Speaks of Rivers. And he starts off, I've known rivers ancient as the world. You know, I bathed in the Euphrates when dawns were young. You know, the Euphrates, can you imagine that? And then in that one poem, he talks about the Congo, the Nile, and the Mississippi. He said, I heard the singing of the slaves when Abe Lincoln went down to New Orleans. Check him out. That's like, alright, skip to my loo. There was a guy in the 40s named Robert Hayden. And Robert Hayden was one of those intellectuals. And he wrote about Harriet Tubman. He wrote about, oh my god. The one he did about Harriet Tubman was called Renegade. And he said, he put you in the mind of a newspaper article about people who were running away, like quote-unquote enslaved persons who were running away. And he would put you in the mind and say, have you seen my Pompey? Have you seen old Lucinda? If you see them, send them back. So he took you into actually the nuts and bolts of how the South, you know, cotton was king. Robert Hayden. Okay, skip to my list. Let's get into the 50s. Now we're in the 50s and we're in San Francisco. There was a guy who graduated from Harvard named Lawrence Ferlinghetti, who started City Light Books. And he had a best friend poet named Bob Kaufman, who wrote about Charlie Parker. Bob Kaufman, he wrote about jazz in the whole new way. And also Ted Jones. Check him out. Ted Jones. Man, his last name is spelled Joans. The Beat Poets. Jack Kerouac, Lawrence Ferlinghetti, Leroy Jones, Ted Jones, Hetty Jones, Diane DePrima, Allen Ginsberg. That's the 50s. They were kicking it when bebop simmered down and Charlie Parker left the world in 55, and the Beat Poets took us on the road in the 60s. Poets made the world. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Guess what happened in the 60s? Jimi Hendrix was hanging out with Bob Dylan in Greenwich Village. Gets no better than that. And there comes Joan Baez. Poets made the world. Poets made the world. Jimi Hendrix, Bob Dylan in the 60s. Poets made the world. Yep. 1970 on the dot. Maya Angelou, I know why the cage bird sings, and she's not even a poet, but her life is a poem.